What's the spoony thing, Choco? Alright, before we begin, I want to show something off. First of all, I love that, by the way. PlayOnline.com, the FF10 official website. Anyways. Actually, no, Mean Panda. Hang on, I need to kind of do something. I might be able to set it up so you can do that right now. So give me a moment. Okay, go ahead and do me a favor and try it, Mean Panda. Well, yeah, oh crap, I was too slow. Okay, so, I've mentioned before that I have 100% at FF10. When I say that, I don't mean that facetiously. That's the save right there, the 137 hour save. We're just going to show this off really quick. Some people have asked me, how do you 100% FF10? Allow me to demonstrate, sir. As soon as I remember how to do this. Now it's select, isn't it? There we go. So yeah, every single person has every single sphere filled. But in addition to that, every single spot on this sphere has actually been replaced with an optimal sphere rather than, you know, just the ones that exist by default, because there's a lot of really bad ones that exist by default. And as you can see, every single character has done all of this on all of them. So yeah, I actually have 100% of this game. Legitimately. No, I don't feel bad about cheating. Screw you. I actually use their ultimate weapons just because it doesn't freaking matter in this case. It literally doesn't matter. As long as I have a break damage limit, the rest is inconsequential. And I mostly have auto haste, auto phoenix stuff for everybody's, yeah, so. Well, hang on, Mean Panda. There we go. Try it again, Mean Panda. I think I might have turned it off. But yeah, I want to stress this because some people don't actually understand this. Filling out the sphere grid doesn't actually max your stats. Okay, so like this right here... Hang on, what is this? Okay, this is an HP by 300. But, by default... Okay, I got 7th guess, so it looks like the bot's working right now. That's good. Let me go and get Twitch chat back open here. There we go. Okay. So, for example, this one has HP by 300. That's the most any HP slot can have. But by default, there's HP's 50, there's HP 100s, there's HP 150s, there's some slots that are just plain blank. You know, in other words, all the HP slots aren't the best HP slots. So you have to, in other words, you have to get, hang on, I'll just go ahead and demonstrate. You have to get, where are they? Clear spheres. You have to get a clear sphere, which will destroy a node in there for if it's not a best in slot, basically, kind of a thing. Destroy it, then replace it with one of these, which will an HP sphere, an MP sphere, etc., which will put the best in slot in there, and then you can actually level it normally with, you know, an attribute sphere or a power sphere or whatever. And that's how you actually max this game, and you do it in the arena. Let's see if I can demonstrate this a little bit. Original, or is it Species Conquest? I forget which. God, it's been a while. This is the super optional of FF10. See if I can remember where it is. It's actually been a little bit. I haven't played FF10 in quite a while. There it is. Okay. Notice I'm quick hitting for Quint 9, for anybody who's paying attention to that. Nah. More quick hits. So yeah, Nemesis has a lot of HP. In case you can't tell, I'm hitting him for basically 100 grand each smack. Actually, we need to swap out Lulu. I'm not actually built for fighting Nemesis at the moment. Let's see if I can remember how to do that. No, not what I meant to do. I meant to do this. Okay, so I need you to... Nah, not yet. Yeah, this is how I warm up in FF10, by reminding myself of how much I completely destroyed this game. Legitimately. Over many, many hours, and a lot of research, too. There we go. Let's go ahead and summon Velafor. Hello, Velafor. I like your guess, by the way, Braven. Alright, I got this, guys. By the way, yes, I also do Quint 9 with my summons. No. Goodbye, Velafor. You will be missed. So yeah, this is actually really boring once you've pulled it off, but this is actually how you beat Nemesis. Quick hit, 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 summon to absorb the attack he does, which will basically kill you. Quick hit, quick hit, quick hit, quick hit. I can actually think I can slip another quick hit in there. Yeah, I can. And yes, even Yuna and Lulu and all those are all hitting for Quint 9s. Quick hit. Summon Ifrit. I like Ifrit's FF10 design, by the way, I'd just like to say. There is the auto-life method, but I usually remember the summon method. I'm pretty sure this is how I actually kill them. So this is what Ultima looks like in FF10. But yeah, all these super bosses are basically a whole nother category of difficult above everything else in the game. Really, they are. Goodbye, Ifrit. Now, some of these bosses you can actually strategize a bit on, but for example, the Tonberry, which is what you actually level off of, that's how you get all this stuff, and that's how you max everything out like I just demonstrated, that's a method. By the way, this is true turn-based. I distinguish this from most FFs because most FFs do not have turn-based, they have active turn-based. What's the difference? I can demonstrate it right here. Not putting any buttons, and nothing will happen until I do. This is what turn-based really means. Put down the controller, nothing happens because it's actually per turn. It's your turn, they can't do anything. Active turn, well, that's obviously different. Just felt like demonstrating the difference there quickly and easily. By the way, for those of you who don't know, Quick Hit actually does reduced damage because of the fact that it's a quick hit. I just feel like pointing out that I'm still doing Quint 9s with reduced damage. Or, yeah. There's Ixion. Let's see, what shall I have you do? Armor Break, I'm sure that'll do something. Nope. It'll just do Quint 9. Yeah, there is a great deal more strategy that you can do if you're not used to actually thinking as quickly as you have to in an ATB game. Especially since the moves you do will actually change your turn order. Quick hit is, of course, the most obvious one. But there's several other abilities that both delay and improve your turn order. It's one of the reasons you get so many quick hits in is because of the fact that we keep pushing ourselves. You can see the turn order changing over there on the right as we're doing this. And that's another thing I think that FF10 did very, very well. It actually has the turn order listed up there in the upper right. I feel like this game would have suffered if not for that little feature right there. That is correct, Torin. Like I said, there's a lot of things you can do to affect the turn order. I like how quick the game is despite being turn-based. It loads all your actions and does them very quickly, all things considered. This game also feels a little less stressful to play, I feel, for some people, because of the fact that you actually get to, you know, you don't have to do all your actions quickly. You can just be like, oh, I can just relax here for a moment. Let's go and pull up the Mage's Sister, because I don't think I'm actually going to pick them up in the playthrough. I might, because they actually do have a little bit of dialogue. Just a little. Anybody remember these from FF4? Oh, that was just about a week ago, wasn't it? Alright, guys. Fight! Not the attack I was hoping for, but whatever. Fight! Go, go! Actually, Nemesis is immune to scan. Or sense, or whatever the hell it's called, but Nemesis is specifically immune to it, so you actually can't see what his health is. Which is kind of irritating, actually. They did that specifically so that players wouldn't have an idea of just how much insanely huge health he has. He has way too much health. Way, way, way too much. Again, I'm hitting him for 100,000 a smack here. Try to keep that in mind. Here's my least favorite Bahamut. I don't know, he just looks too gaudy to me. I hate the designs on his scales, on his wings. I hate the giant thing behind him. That's just me, of course. What should we do? Nah, I'm kidding. We should just kill him. So, some people have asked me, will I be doing super optionals in several of the games? Now, I did Shuyin, or Shinryu, excuse me. But I did that kind of as a joke, and I'm actually amazed I pulled it off. I'm just kind of... Part of the reason I'm doing this and making you suffer through the whole fight is to demonstrate why it is I will probably not be doing the super optionals in most of the games, this one included. Because even though I am basically curb stomping this guy, this is just taking forever. And since I'm already built, there's no strategy involved. Quick hit, summon, quick hit, summon. Yes, I have Claymore. Not in this save, though. This is a different save. Hello, Seymour's mother. Spoiler alert. By the way, we will be... oh, excuse me. We'll be having massive spoilers throughout this entire run, pretty much from word go. If you don't actually like that, I'm sorry. We will be giving you another warning before we actually get to a point. But, yeah. I will be spoiling everything pretty much from word go, so be ye warned. I maxed out the only thing that matters about them, Kay. Their damage. God. Anima is just terrifying. Of course, I don't like most of the summons in this one. I like Ifrit. And I think that's it, actually. Ixion's alright, I guess. Just saying, I want to make sure that warning is out there. All I have is the Mage's Sisters and Anima. I didn't bother to get anything else in this save. For reasons that I don't think I even need to explain. I wish I'd been keeping track of how many times I've hit this guy. Well, this is our last summon. It's someone who is not Gilgamesh. Okay. Here's all my money. By the way, oh, I don't think he did it. There is another method for killing this guy, but I don't think I got it. Yeah, I didn't. Oh well. The other method is to get Yojimbo to one-shot him. But you have to basically train up a Yojimbo, and even then it's still a chance. And the way you train him up is by shoving money down his throat. It's the FF5 strategy all over again. Well, this is it. If we don't kill him, it's over. But of course, that was it. You're pretty much guaranteed if you go through all your summons to get him that way. I wasn't even worried. That was statistically probable. So, that is the super optional of FF10 for everybody who's wondering. I got 2 Warp Spheres and an Excalibur! Yay! Yeah, so I am not doing the arena subgame in this thing. That takes so much time just to get everything. God. And no, that doesn't account for the encounter counter, by the way. That was just showing that off and getting across a point. So, this is your last warning. I'm going to be spoiling lots and lots of things in this game, pretty much right from the beginning. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Here's the intro again, although this time there's voice acting. God, I'm gonna have to shut up for a lot of this run.
listen to my story. This may be our last chance.
So yes, for those of you who are paying attention, this is the scene that happens much later when they're actually at Zanarkand, when he explains everything that's happened up to that point. Yeah. Making most of the game technically a flashback, but shrug. So this is the only version of the prelude that exists in FF10, to my knowledge. FF7, Mean Panda. Although even that, they were only partially involved. So, first spoiler, that's Bahamut. Or rather, that is the Faith who became Bahamut. And they are in a place that's way out to sea that is being maintained by lots and lots of Faith, because this is not the actual Zanarkand. Spoiler number 2. Oh, yeah, okay, so... Do I not even have the options menu yet? Okay, whatever. Let's just go.
Can you sign this?
No problem.
Alright. One of the only renames in the whole game. They actually go way out of their way to never say his name by name and all the voice acting, just so you have the chance to rename him. It was actually a rather controversial choice at the time, and since then they haven't allowed you to rename anything since. So, yeah. Tidus. Tidus, what are you being renamed? What, really? Really? That's the one that won? Okay. Okay, so, yeah, I believe this fits. I hope this fits. This won't fit at all. Hang on, that's wrong. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This literally won't fit. But if we do this... Damn it. I hate these last-minute changes. Behold, Journal Zod. Oh, that's a good idea. That's actually a good idea. I forgot we had actually access to these. And then we'll get a space in there. And then General... General Zod, ladies and gentlemen.
Alrighty.
Kneel before Zod's Blitzball! Okay, I'll admit it. That makes me laugh. When you're... So, some of the voice acting is pretty good in FF10. Some of it is not.
Nothing to worry about.
A lot of the random NPCs do not sound good in my opinion.
I'll, do this. That will mean it was for you, okay? What seat?
He's blocking the front row. Fifth from the right.
Got it.
Kneel before Zod! Oh my god.
Well, gotta go. Cheer for me.
2, 3. Teach us how to blitz.
Hey, I got a game to play.
Then teach us after.
Maybe tonight, well...
You can't tonight.
I mean, tomorrow.
Apparently Bahamut says I can't do it tonight, guys.
Promise.
And there's the symbol of victory, which was used as a way to mock the people back in the old times. Don't think about it too much. God, I have a billion things to explain about this game. Although most of it's stuff that people already know. There's only a few things that FF10 doesn't actually explain within itself. Then again, I guess that's true for most of these, so whatever. And that's right, even though it's been several years since Jack disappeared, they still have his poster up.
I was in a coffee shop running away from home when I heard the news.
Think about that for a minute.
Our hero, Jack, gone, vanished into thin air. My dad must have been his biggest fan. I knew how sad he'd be. Heck, we all were that day. Zanar, I says to myself, what are you thinking? I went running straight back home. We sat up talking about Jack all night. My dad and I never talked so much. Whoa. Didn't mean to reminisce, folks. Anyway, 10 years later, the Jack Memorial Cup tournament is today. The two teams that have won through to the finals are, of course, the Apes from A East.
Oh, so you don't think it's significant that they actually have a frickin' tournament named after him? Dalton? Of course, these people don't have much in the way of lives, when you get down to it.
Let go of me.
Oh, gotta be quiet again. Nah, screw it. Oh, it works the same, Cashel. That's not a guess, I know that. This scene probably sold me on this game really well, I gotta be honest. Hey, Oren. There's him saluting Jack. Fun fact, you can actually see Sin's model in there. It's really distorted, but if you know what you're looking for, you can see it. The reason Sin can go so seriously affect this place is because of the fact that it isn't real any more than he is. Both of them are summoned things, and therefore both of them are affected, and Sin's power is so much greater that it literally warps other summonings around it. And yes, that is really Sin. Yeah, by the way, this music's done by Rammstein. So let's answer a few questions we've gotten already. First, there is actually an in-lore question for how they play underwater the whole time, and it's really boring. They train themselves so they can hold their breath for a long time. That's it. Second, the way that Sin gets here is because Dream Zanarkand isn't actually physically different from the rest of the continent. This is the first FF where they definitively say that Spira is not the world, only the continent. So if you can imagine Spira out here, Dream Zanarkand is just way out here, out in the ocean. And the reason nobody ever goes out there is because they don't have the technology or capacity to actually make that kind of a trip. And even if they did, they wouldn't be able to make it back. That's one of the reasons why fiends, as Tidus explains later, fiends almost never happen in Dreams Anakin, because it's way over here. The physical distance is too huge, so it's very unusual for an actual fiend to make its way all the way over here and actually affect Zanarkand. So yeah, Dreams Anakin is a physical place, and of course Sin can just swim there. He's just never had a reason to do so.
What are you doing here?
Kneel before Zod!
What
Sorry.
are you talking about?
Hey, Lady Ophi. Ophi? Not sure how to say that. Hey, Bahamut. Oh, of course not. Sin is going to mess up everything. It's worth noting that Bahamut and the Faith and Jekt basically planned this all as soon as Jekt became Sin. Because they believed Tidus would be able to actually do something to... I'm sorry, General Zod, excuse me, would be able to do something to actually affect the cycle. But we'll get to why in a bit.
Hey, wait!
You got it. Lady of I?
Hey,
I'll go ahead and call you Lady for short. Hey, ask any questions you need to. I actually know this game really well.
We called it sin.
Sin?
Note that Auron isn't actually referring to Jekt right there. He's referring to the history in the past and, you know, the where Sin came from. Not that Sin. My intention is to get to the first town, Besaid, I believe, and then get to a certain point where the Sphere Grid unlocks. And then I'm going to cheat. I actually don't have cheats on yet, but I'm going to be turning them on at that point. Kneel before Zod! Kneel before Zod! Come on! Kneel before Zod! I like the design of that hook blade, by the way, personally. Even though he's pathetic and doesn't know how to hold a frickin' weapon.
From Jekt.
My old man?
Alright, now kneel before Zod! Yoha!
I hope you know how to use it.
If you don't, I do, because I'm way stronger than you, you worthless, pathetic person. Auron is drinking sake. What happens to people of Dreams Anakin when they die?
Cut through.
They actually have a whole thing where they actually put the people out to the ocean. Tidus comments on it once in the game. So anybody who dies, you know, they bury them at sea, and then the Faith just kind of stop dreaming the corpse, so the corpse goes away. And of course, they keep dreaming new people for people to come, you know, have birth and whatnot. So in other words, these people are not in stasis. This is a society that is actually cycling around lives, but there is a catch, and one that becomes a little bit more relevant when FF10-2 shows up. And that catch is the fact that even though, you know, new people are born and old people die, the same, if you actually took a census of all, however many people it is, I think it's about 1 million people who lived in Dreams Anakin at any given time and point in time and said, you know, just try to figure out all those people, and then you waited about 20 years and then took another consensus, the same general people would exist. They'd have different memories because their lives have unfolded differently. But, for example, there's always been someone based off of Shuyin, which is why Tidus and every version previous to him for the last millennia looks and acts like that. You see? Because these people only have a limited imagination, and they only have limited amounts of dreams, so they keep dreaming the same types of people over and over and over as we cycle through. Hylisk, it will take way more money than you have for me to stop making fun of Tidus. It's also way too fun for me. So, this is another thing I like, by the way. We can go ahead and just pause the fighting here. Can I not attack him yet? Hello? Okay, fine. Attack Monster A, then. Damn it, FF8. I keep hitting R1 when I swing. Yes, after this, the 10-2 counter is going away, officially. So anybody who cares, this game, obviously I'll be playing this probably for about 2 more days, I'd say. But, this will be your last chance to decide whether or not I play FF10-2. Not the last chance of whether to decide I get to watch the cutscenes or not, though. Sin, the ultimate weapon. Other than, I almost said Valpurgisnacht. What the hell's the name of that stupid machina in 10-2? I can't even think of its damn name. The giant moth. So some people have asked, why is it that Sin's creatures are so deadly? Believe it or not, that's actually by design. Oh, by the way, Tidus is actually a dream and is one of the summoned people, just like, you know, everything else in here, and except for Auron, and including Jecht himself, and naturally the summons. Yes, by the way, that does count as encounter. 1 encounter, which we are now up to 2. Vignegon, that was it.
Get out of my town!
Some can't wait to die.
Kneel before... Well, actually, don't kneel before him. Kneel before me. Which one's this one? That's actually completely chance, Noel. There's no actual relation there. Also, I don't actually think she looks that much like her personally. I think it was just coincidence that she happened to use her dress sphere. So that's the only reason there's a real connection there. That's actually a really good question, Dexron, but the answer is really simple if you think about it. Someone who is a much better summoner than them continued to dream, if I could use the term, Sin. So even if they had tried to stop dreaming Sin, or Jecht, I should say, it wouldn't matter because Sin would continue to be dreamt. And it wouldn't actually fix anything anyways. Oops, wrong button. There we go. Yeah, I do think Tidus would actually look better with black hair, but that's just my preference. This boss is really, really easy. All he ever casts is Demi. It's literally just an overdrive tutorial. One thing I like about FF10's intro, it starts off high, which is really rare for an FF. They wanted to pretty much start right off the bat as high-paced as they could. And so everything here, it starts off a high note, you have no idea what's going on, there's tons and tons of questions, all this makes way more sense the second time you play the game, blah 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 blah. And then, you know, and then it goes to a low, and it stays low for quite a while, pretty much until you leave the village. It stays at a low after this, but I like the way they do that. And of course, like all the bits of Sin, it turns back into the... I suddenly can't think of their name. The Pyreflies, when it dies. Oh, wrong thing. There we go. Do I at least have... No, I don't. Still don't have the menu. I can save, though. So, one thing that a lot of people have complained about FF10, when you touch a save sphere, instantly healed. All your health and mana and your stats and everything.
What are you laughing at, old man? Lauren, let's get out of here.
We're expected.
Huh? Give me
Oh,
a break, man.
by the way, you can't skip cutscenes in FF10, so don't bother asking. In fact, to my understanding, you can't skip cutscenes in the PlayStation 3 version, the remake, the port as well. Of course I can, Raibo. Jabba, Guaba, Chewbacca. Oh, 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 oh. There you go. I'll bed. I mean, granted, not that I would skip cutscenes for a lore run, but I just felt like pointing it out. Sure, Giacomo.
This could be bad. That. Knock it down.
Technically, there's really only two,
Trust me, you'll see.
there's actually only two Zanarkins in the game, but there is a technically for a third one, and that is the one inside Sin. See, Sin is weird. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Sin is weird. And so inside Sin is a kind of a sub-dimension, I think is probably the best way to explain it, that is dependent on the individual's personality, memories, etc. of whoever was turned into the latest Sin. That's why inside this particular Sin, his strongest memories are of Zanarkand, and that's why there's that Zanarkand within there. Now this is the Dream Zanarkand. The Dream Zanarkand is the idealized place that has been basically kept in a perpetual stasis to maintain the memory and essence of Zanarkand so that people will always remember Zanarkand, blah 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 blah. It's also worth noting that there's some hints that the Faith lack the ability to stop dreaming while Yu Yevon is around because of the pact he made with them. I actually agree with that completely, because it would make a lot of sense, and be one of the reasons why the Faith would be so opposed to Yu Yevon. But anyways, then we have the real Zanarkand. The real Zanarkand is the one that was destroyed a millennia ago in the war against Bavel. Except, it wasn't Bavel that destroyed it, it was Sin. We're about to see the dreamt, or the dream within a dream Zanarkand, aka the one inside of Jecht's memories. By the way, I'd just like to say Sin is really gross. Just saying. Hey, Joe Neutrino.
You are sure?
Ugh, God, gross. Frickin' zombie whale.
This is it. This is your story. It all begins here.
I actually did change it, Kings. It's just Twitch is weird about doing that. If you refresh it, it'll show FF10.
Hey,
That's Jecht's voice, by the way.
hey!
And this is the Dream Within a Dream Zanarkand. The one that's inside of Sin. We'll just kind of show it off for a bit. This is actually where the true last boss of the game happens. For those of you who've played this game, you know exactly what I mean by true last boss. Down, down. There we go. Sin isn't a gateway. He is literally being carried in Sin right now. We're literally inside Sin as of this moment.
I thought about a lot of things.
Correct, Cashel.
Like where I was, what I got myself into. I started to feel lightheaded, and then sleepy.
Let me go ahead and just say that the English voice actor for Tidus sucks.
I think I had a dream.
He keeps trying to sound dramatic,
Of being alone.
and instead he just kind of sounds
Someone, anyone beside me. So I didn't have
weak.
to feel alone anymore.
like there's no gravitas in his words. It's just, first I felt tired, and then sleepy. God, dude, emote! Anyways, sorry. Just personal pet peeve of this game. Like I said, back during Crystals for Life last year, I actually donated to mute the game for all of Tidus's cutscenes. But yeah, he's very bland. That's a much better word than I was going for. He is so bland. There's no strength or emotion, good or bad, behind his voice. Even a bad voice actor can be funny to listen to. I mean, remember Mega Man X4? What am I fighting for? You know, at least that was funny to laugh at. Tidus is just dull. Or as Futurama would say, Cut, would you learn to show a little emotion? I love this song, by the way. I don't like most of FF10's soundtracks on their own, but a lot of them are very atmospheric. This one is very atmospheric, and I like it by itself. It's very quiet, so you probably can't hear it. I apologize, but it's awesome. One thing I like about FF10, and I hate to say this because it directly relates to FF13, and I know my own rule about not talking about FF13, but FF10 is probably the first FF that is could truly be considered linear. No overworld, no real explanation, or exploration, excuse me. Love the picture, Bowman. No real exploration, no real airship, no nothing, no sense of freedom whatsoever. But I will have to actually say that at least most of the areas you go through have a degree of open feeling to them. It feels like you're going through an area and not a corridor. And that's all I'm going to say about that for now. And of course, there is a point in exploring. Yeah, that one. There we go. And there's my Albed dictionary, which will make a lot of cutscenes make a lot more sense, let me tell you what. But yeah, it's dressing, it's window dressing, but at least it's there, you know? Now, Bragwin, I want you to picture Meg Ryan walking up to you and saying, "Kneel before Zod." I can't even do it. I can't make my voice that boring. Hang on, I gotta like picture his sleepy line, because that line always bugs me every time I hear it. And then sleepy. Alright, so what I want you to do is kneel before Zod. There we go, there we go. That's as close as I can get, guys. But yeah, one of the things I really like about FF10 is its storytelling style, its approach to how it's telling the story. It really does bother to just kind of... It's probably the most en medias res story I've ever seen in the FF series. There we go. And it really goes out of its way to not explain anything to you, but it uses that as a tool. And I like that. I like the fact that Tidus is the essential viewpoint character, that he is learning about this world just as we are, at the same time as we are. Oh, hey, we actually have a... Whoops, not what I meant. Okay, stereo, subtitles on, names on, murmury, help goes off. Yeah, we'll leave them on default for now. Map on, vibration on. Okay, we're good. Yeah, saving time takes forever in FF10. I'm probably not going to be saving that often, but then again, I'll be cheating, so I'm not too worried about dying. By the way, we do have a hidden donation incentive for anybody who cares. I'll talk about this again tomorrow. It involves whether or not I will be muting the ha-ha-ha scene or laughing with him. Those are the two choices. It's up to you guys. You know, normally I'd ask if anybody could tell if this is the PS3 version or the PS2 version, but I've already made my views on that clear. Hey look, it's Sahagins, I think. There are things to talk about in that scene, don't mistake me. I'll consider it, Bandit, if you donate for it. What the? I've already got one. Jeez Louise. Oh, there's only one enemy left. I think I won this one, guys. That was easy. Holy crap. By the way, I'd just like to go out of my way and say that, just like FF5, it really bothers me, the enemy designs in this game. Damn, Omni. Well, thank you for the donation. Of course, none of that goes towards me laughing in the scene, thank God. Oh, that'd be terrible. I do not. Well, okay, yes I do. I have a way more powerful voice than that idiot. I can't even do that. I can't even pretend. Do I have any potions? Yeah, I do. But yeah, I do like the way they approach turn-based in this. It's the same way a lot of the old Might and Magic games would approach it. Because, see, using an item will actually make me have another turn there, basically. Yes, I like the overkill system, too. Although I wish it wasn't required for a lot of the side quests, because that gets really annoying. Oh, that's even worse, Aerith. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not doing it. Well, let's go ahead and add this to the total. 4 towards X cutscenes and 6 towards X. Or no, that should be... yeah, whatever. 54, so that should actually be 58, sorry. And then... behind should be 185, there we go. Trust me, guys, my Seymour voice is nowhere near as epic as Seymour's voice. Yes, I know, Permeus. What can I say? I know how to project. I was in theater, you know.
I had made it out of the frying pan and into the freezer.
Emote! Emote! God damn you!
I thought I was gonna die in this place.
Yeah. I thought I was gonna die in this place, so I decided to write about it in my Facebook journal. Dear Facebook, I'm going to die in this place, but it's okay, because I'm no longer burning. Now I'm freezing. It's kind of cold here, but I'd just like to say, please kneel. Please, please kneel from Zod. Thank you. Oh my God, where am I? Whoops. Why is that a 25? That's totally wrong. This should be a 60. I'm not sure where I messed up there. That's correct, Biggs. You have to do some really, really terrible, and in some cases fun, mini-games in order to get all the ultimate weapons. Cold. Dear Facebook, I am now cold. Need fire. Green Warrior needs fire badly. Please send help. Sincerely, General Zod. P.S. Remember me. No, I know, Hylusk. I've heard the Japanese voice acting for Ryan. I've heard the Japanese voice acting for Seymour. It's way different. Whoop, whoop. Did we just... oh, it hasn't shown up yet. Oh, never mind. There it is. We got another donation. Alright, so, like I said, I'm keeping track. I don't have a place to put it on the screen, but here's another hidden donation, which we're going to go ahead and track there for... wait, what was that for specifically? Was that for muting it, or was that for me doing it? That was for me doing it, so that's a positive. So we'll leave that there. Thank you for the donation, me and Panda. So we're now $5 towards me doing the laughing scene instead of... or no, that's me laughing with him, excuse me. That's $5 for me laughing with Tidus instead of, you know, any other option that's available. Yeah, Kairos, I actually have a weird sense of fashion. Like, I really do. But FF10... well, it's actually explained in lore. It really is. But FF10's aesthetic style for their garbs are so weird sometimes that it actually kind of bothers me, to be honest with you. That being said, I would totally wear what Setzer wears. Or, Sephiroth. Or, God, I don't know, I could probably think of a few others. Yeah, of course, let's not forget, Tidus can emote, and when he does, he sounds kind of like this, guys. Don't you understand? My life sucks. Everything sucks. No one understands me. Guys, please stop throwing my head in the toilet. It's not really nice. 2 hours with Cypher, easily. I would. Third, you can wear what Tifa wears all you want. I don't have the build for it. Don't have the hips. Sorry. I'd probably... Actually, Jacked I could see, but mostly I like Jack's Dissidia outfit, which is only slightly different than his 10 one, but I like it better, personally. One of the other things I like is that they did well with FF10 is the mini-map. I think this is actually a really good mini-map and was a really good step for a 3D game. Just my opinion. Ugh. God. Alright. Let's see here. Use the Force, Titus. Or Tidus.
I need food.
There's that whiny voice.
What do you want?
It was a bad call. Your team lost because of you.
You came to say that?
Uh-oh.
It's been 10 years.
Oh, God.
I thought you'd be crying.
So, 40...
You cried.
That's right. Bahamut knows all and sees all. Alright, hang on. We just got a couple donations that are changing the... whether or not I'm laughing with or muting it. So I believe that puts us at 5, 6, 7... So... 33. So we are now at negative 33. In other words, that's $33 towards muting him when he when the laughing scene happens.
Just hold on. I'll get more wood.
Props to the director, by the way. They actually did some really good a really good job with the directing and the camera work in this game. It is pronounced Tidus, that is correct. Otherwise I'd call him Titus, because, you know, that's... seems more sense-making to me. Yeah, one more. And yeah, this is actually really sucky. I kind of feel bad for Tidus because things just kind of go from worse to also worse to more worse to slightly worse to worse. Not actually kidding. Let's see, he starts off on the day of the big game, and he's a big star, and he's really loved by everyone, and everyone knows his name. And then he gets his city destroyed, at least temporarily, obviously they'll redream it. And then he gets kidnapped by Sin, abandoned in the middle of nowhere at this ruins, near where the airship whose name I forget, I think it's the Fahrenheit, is. And then he's about to get abused, and some other horrible things are going to happen to him. Yeah, I called him Titus until I actually heard it pronounced, and then I played Dissidia, and that just kind of forced Tidus into my brain. Hey, Riku. So, since I have the Albed translations in, you'll actually see the subtitles, but... Oh, speaking of which, that's an encounter. And that's Riku. And believe it or not, that's Brother back there. If that doesn't sound surprising to you, try to remember him in FF10 too, and then think about it.
You on my side? Cool.
Using grenades. Here's how to use the grenades. You know, I turned off the hints. By the way, this is something that I don't like about FF10. When they have you do a, specific form of, tutorial, like here's how you use this, they literally gray out every other option. You have no choice whatsoever but to do what they ask you to do. That kind of irritates me. It's a little too hand-holdy for my tastes. But whatever. Okay, so now we're just gonna go back to attacking. I also like what they did with overdrives in this one. It's pretty much the exact same as the limit system from 7 when you really get down to it. So, shrug. Overkills also give you more exp and I think more gil. I could be wrong about that. So there's Riku. Stop gawking.
That was close. Hey, let me go.
What is this? A fiend in human disguise. Yes, it is so. We kill it? Wait. What if it's human? They are the same in death. I forbid it. We bring it with us. Sorry. By the way, they actually used a really simple method to get across Albed, but it's a typical cipher. Basically, they moved all the consonants forward a certain amount, and then all the vowels forward a certain amount, and then that made it actually remains pronounceable. That's why they could actually speak it out loud. If you do a standard cipher where it's all letters move forward, letters are going to be, vowels are going to turn into consonants and vice versa, and you're going to have unpronounceable words. But as long as you maintain vowel to consonant ratio, you can still pronounce it, even if it might be a little bit difficult on the tongue. So this is their ship, where they're trying to excavate old tech from, the war a millennia ago. Sit, captive.
Hey, that hurts.
No moving. Here?
Whoa. Okay.
No final cloud. Other people have already done that. That's Brother, sorry. And just try to keep in mind the total difference between his personality and his approach and his dialect and everything. Here versus in 10-2. Seriously. I'm sorry, I gotta pause to comment on this, because I actually played 10-2, and then I went back to 10, and I never actually noticed that was Brother, first of all. Never even clicked with me that that was him. Second of all, after having wanted to gut Brother like a fish throughout all of 10-2, he was my least favorite character in the whole game. Seeing him here and seeing him so different was just a shock to me. If you've played 10-2, you know what I mean. Just, damn.
I don't understand.
Insolence.
Fed!
Wait.
He said you can stay if you make yourself useful.
Oh, you actually
understand
speak
me?
English. Holy crap.
All right, I'll work.
So yeah, he went from being kidnapped to being endangered to nearly starving, and now he's a slave. Good day for you, General Zod. But first we're going to save at this convenient save crystal. No, I'm kidding. We're not actually going to save. We're going to move on.
Oh, almost forgot.
What? And here's the sphere grid. Here's the tutorial you can't skip. That could be true, Hylisk, admittedly. Brother is a dick good guy, Ojunix. Although it would be probably more accurate to call him neutral. Quick comment on FF15. It's been in development for 8 years. That's my comment on it. We'll see whenever it comes out in 50 years. Hojo is worse, in my opinion, Kimarusko. By the way, this is still just me mashing.
We found some ancient ruins right beneath us.
There we go.
It's not active now, but there should still be some power left. We're gonna go down there and activate it. And then we should be able to salvage the big prize. Okay, let's get to work.
By the way, she's referring to the Fahrenheit. The airship. God, he is such a dork. Let's go! It's okay, I can hold my breath for, I think 12 minutes? Something like that. Props to them, by the way. They actually do the water. Water is obviously a huge theme in FF10, for reasons I'll get to later when I really start talking about the themes of this game. But props to them for actually making a degree of the 3D feel in all the areas where it's prevalent, like this one, for example, and actually having a way to go up, down, etc. I don't know, and I don't know, respectively, Kairos counter. Get those Pyroflies out of here. So one of the interesting things about FF10 is virtually everything you fight, in the entire game actually, is in some form or another constructed by Pyroflies. Even if it's not a fiend directly, it's something or someone who has been augmented or altered or otherwise changed by Pyroflies. Which is kind of the usual theme of reincarnation, livestream type thing. I don't mean to sound derogatory when I say that. I'm just saying a lot of the FFs have had a similar theme to them. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Yes, this is how you operate a computer, gentlemen. Bow before Zod! Bow before Zod! Oh, okay, it's open. Yeah, which is really weird. There's no third dimension in Blitzball, yet there is an explorable areas. God, that made no sense to me. Tidus is not part fish. He can just hold his breath a long time because he has an underwater sport. People in real life can hold their breath for that long. It's not that unusual. I also like how they do the encounter transitions. Every encounter is actually fought in an area that is in the actual explorable area. So this is the least well, okay, like in every other FF, with few exceptions, that goes, and then there's the encounter, or and then there's the encounter. And it's an area that looks like the area, but FF10 was the first one to actually have you fight in the explorable areas, with just a bit of a transition for the UE to load. So, props to them for that. Yeah, probably, gamers. Whoop, whoop. Okay, what am I doing here? Is this it? Yeah, this is it. Okay, remember. Kneel before Zod. He really does punch it. This is hilarious. He really does just punch things to make them work. Gotta love that old, 1,000-year-old craftsmanship there. Meanwhile, we have awoken something terrible. Let me go on the record to say I really enjoyed playing Blitzball, by the way. I probably won't be doing much of it this stream because, lore run, but it's one of those mini games I did actually enjoy. And it's an octopus. Well, that's gross. It's not just punching computers, too. You're actually punching the monitor of a computer. That's the funnier part. So this is when they do the tutorial on trigger commands. We'll be seeing a few of these. Why do you want me to dodge 100 lightning bolts? Yeah, I know that, Hylisk. And, I mean, it's kind of understandable as much as it irritates me. He was extremely popular back in Zanarkand. Oh, right. Let's go ahead and do this. I am so not dodging 200 lightning bolts. You literally cannot donate enough money for me to do that. It doesn't exist. Aw. Yeah, it literally won't let you do things that you are incapable of doing. Oh yeah, sorry. See, bull crap. Dude, $10,000 would not motivate me to do that frickin' lightning again. Might motivate me to kill myself, though. The lightning, not the money. Alright. Great. Whatever. Let's just kill him. I might for $1 million, just because I could give that money to a lot of people. Oh, God, I would want to kill myself. I like how she's still named question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, by the way. I'm pretty sure we don't actually find out her name until she actually joins the party. What, like 10 hours from now, something like that? Of course, Da Vinci. What else do you do with lightning bolts? Yes, Nikki, that is correct. But note that it does not mean he's a direct copy. It's just based off of the ideas and memories of Shuyan. That also means everyone in Dream Zanarkand is based off of the memories of someone in the real Zanarkand. Although their relations and familial connections are not necessarily the same, it's very likely that whoever Jacked is based off of was not actually the father of Shuyan, for example. Die, monster. You don't belong in this world. No, no donations for that, okay? Nobody donate for lightning bolts. I'm not doing it. Seriously. I did it once, and that is the only time I have ever done it. And it was on the save game I showed off when I started streaming today. Alright, power's on. Okay, we're good. What is a man? A miserable pile of blitzballs. But enough talk. Have at you. Actually, not quite, Kairos. There's a difference between Warhammer 40k, which is incredibly over-the-top, violent horribleness and despair, and the gloom and resignation of FF10. FF10's world is a world that is stagnant and chooses to remain stagnant, that continues to wish to be in the same horrible circumstance that they are in. Warhammer 40k is people who are constantly trying to fight that. By the way, that's the airship right down there. That's the Fahrenheit, which, you know, we'll get in the end game, but all it is basically a teleporter in gameplay terms, so you don't actually get to explore. Sorry. But, yeah. No, Mean Panda. Completely different engines. The graphics engine is similar, I guess you could say that, but it's not actually the same. It's not even the same base. Yeah, there's the airship. I know it's kind of hard to see on the stream, but it's right there. And that's a better shot of it. And it takes them half the game to actually get that thing up and running. Maybe Permeus, but I'd have to get copies of the games, and then I'd have to refresh myself on them and do a lot more research. I used to, Kimarusko. I never actually bought the things because money, but I used to do, you know, you'd get the thing where it's like, okay, this little piece of paper or whatever. Actually, Lego units is my favorite thing, believe it or not, because Legos are pretty much perfect for the grid. You know, this is this guy, this is that guy, etc. I used to be really good at it, and I used to have a lot of fun with it. Of course, I always played the Orcs. We found the airship. The records were right. The ancients foretold of this day. Renoa hanging off of a cliff in Lore Da Vinci, because she hangs off a cliff for 20 minutes. But Tidus can only hold his breath for 12 minutes. So, yeah, FF9 was the last FF to actually have a world map. Even FF12, which gets across the feeling of exploration quite well, I think, didn't actually have a world map.
Hungry.
Shut up. I like how she's trying to be nice to him and she still kicks him in the face. Here's your goddamn food.
Whoa! Right on.
No manners, no nothing, just starts eating right there. Chokes on it, of course. No, Ojunix, the orcs are not the bad guys at all. They're just the orcs.
Hey,
God. Stupid frickin'.
it's because you eat too fast.
By the way, in case you don't believe me, no skip option. Just thought I'd prove it once.
Hey,
What?
Hello there. What is your name?
Riku.
Whoa! You really do understand.
No, she was just talking to you in English earlier for no reason, you moron.
Why didn't you say so earlier?
I didn't get a chance to. Everyone thought we were a fiend.
We?
Oh, we means you.
Who are you guys anyway?
We're Albed. Can't you tell? Wait, you're not an Albed hater, are you?
What's
I
an
don't even know
alphabet?
what an Albed is.
Where are you from?
Xanarkin. I'm a blitzball player. Star player of the Xanarkin Apes.
Did you hit your head or something?
No, Omni. That counter would explode.
You guys hit me?
Oh, right. Do you remember anything before that?
I agree, Bowman. Tidus is actually the
So I told
weakest
her
of all the
everything
FF
there was to tell
heroes.
About Xanarkin. About life there, blitzball.
Yes, Shinra,
and
someone
kids attack,
donated for that, so...
And about how Aaron and I were engulfed in this light.
Kneel
I
before
just said things as
Zod.
they came to mind.
Kneel.
But then I started to wonder.
Kneel before Zod.
Did I say something funny?
No, you didn't.
You were near Sin.
Yeah, and?
Don't worry, you'll be better in no time. They say your head gets funny when Sin is near. Maybe you just had some kind of dream.
Yeah, I totally dreamed my whole life. Of course, knowing Titus.
You mean I'm sick?
Because of Sin's toxin.
So it is worth noting the irony of the fact that they keep telling him he dreamed his whole life.
There is no Xanarkand anymore.
Think about
Sin
that for a
destroyed it
moment.
1,000 years ago. So no one plays blitzball there.
Hang on, I gotta point out something that is actually a well done thing. I really do want to compliment this game as much as I can, especially considering how much I'm making fun of it. But props where props are due. One of the things they do really well is they build up the whole idea that, you know, you've time traveled. And that's what a lot of people, myself included, were thinking, was that what happened was, you know, the Xanarkand we were from was the Xanarkand from 1,000 years ago. And then something horrible happened and we're in the future now, or the present, or whatever you want to call it. So props to them for building that up in that way. Pretty much everything points to the fact that it's a time travel story and not what actually happened.
What do you mean, 1,000 years ago? But I saw Sin attack Xanarkand. You're saying that happened 1,000 years ago? No way.
Well, I'm out. Peace. No, nothing. Okay, fine.
You said you play blitzball?
Uh-huh.
You know, you should go to Luca. Someone might know who you are, or you might find someone you recognize.
Luca?
Yeah, I like how Titus later on just automatically flings the Sin toxin explanation to everyone, just to make them shut up and not think about it. That is true. I'm not actually making fun of FF10. I'm just making fun of Titus.
Trust me. I'll get you to Luca. Promise. You'd rather stay here? Okay, I'll go tell the others. Wait here. Oh, and one thing. Don't tell anyone you're from Xanarkand, okay? Yevon says it's a holy place. You might upset someone.
Who's Yevon? Oh, what irony is that, isn't it? We're going to be stopping the stream relatively soon, by the way. Just kind of a heads up.
My Xanarkand? Some kind of holy place? Yeah, right, I thought. Since when?
Well, since it was destroyed a millennia ago. And
Yevon?
mockery
Sin?
happened.
Luca? I thought Sin just took me to a faraway place. That I can go back in a day or two.
Rory, it's mentioned in the game, but it's also in the
1,000
Ultimania.
years into the future?
That's not theory, that's fact. I don't actually have many theories about this game. Way to go, Titus. Numbskulls. I am not Sin. Or am I? No, I'm not. I'm actually in control of my faculties. Yeah, by the way, Final Cloud brings a good point. Try to remember the line, don't tell anyone you're from Xanarkand. Correct, Nikki. He is made of pyreflies just like everyone in the Dream Xanarkand is. Yeah, sure, I guess. Long save times. Oh, that sucks, Hell Resident. I hope you enjoy the new version, though. You should give it a playthrough. Enjoy it. And you should watch my stream, too. So, Sin drags him over here now, to Besaid Island. No Vice, because other characters exist that I'm not going to name.
Riku!
Hey, look. It's a Blitzball. And if there's one thing I know, it's Blitzball.
Hey!
I would kill myself, Giacomo. Right after destroying the world, of course. One of the things I do like, as weird as that sounds, about Tidus, is the fact that they actually do have a reason for why he can fight, you know? Most of these don't, but, I mean, Lulu... Well, okay, Lulu is an experienced mage. Wakka is an experienced athlete. Riku is someone who has been working in unusual circumstances her whole life, blah, 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 blah. But the only reason Tidus can actually keep up with all these people is the fact that he is pretty much a grade A, very, very, very skilled athlete. So it does make sense that, you know, once he applies his skills elsewhere, he could get used to combat. And I like the fact that they actually bothered to explain that. Now to go talk to Bender. Hey, Bender.
Yo. Hiya.
You wanna try that move one more time?
Okay, it's time to admit something.
Things were starting to look up.
Oh, whatever. It's time to admit something that a lot of you are going to hate me for. I actually like Wakka. Not only does he have probably the most character growth of all the characters in this game, he's also the one most willing to think for himself, even more so than Tidus or Yuna are.
You know amateur. Who you play for?
The Xanarkin apes.
Oh, okay, so that's the first time he told someone he's from Xanarkand.
What team you say again?
I meant... forget that.
But yeah, I also like Wakka's voice
I got
actor.
to,
DiMaggio
push
is a
this in.
really good voice
My head's all
actor.
foggy like.
So,
So, I don't know
between
what
the
to
actor, the
do.
character development, and the way his path goes,
Since Toxin got
he's
you,
pretty awesome, all things considered.
but you're still alive. Praise be to Yevon.
And there's that. There's a story behind that. I'm debating if I want to tell you it now or later.
All right, back to practice. I'm Wakka, coach and captain of the Besaid Aurochs, brother. What? You hungry? Okay, back to the village. I can get something.
Wee, wee, wee into the water, wee, sploosh, sploosh, sploosh. Okay, back on the land, wee. Okay, sorry. Anyways, I'll go ahead and say about it now. The thing I like about it is the fact that it's kind of indicative of the irony of the whole situation. Originally, that was done as a symbol of victory. Xanarkand used that as their symbol of victory that they preached, they projected during the war. It was a cultural thing before that, but during the war against Bavel, it was their motivating cry. You know, we must fight against the horribly evil Bavel. You know, blah 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 blah. Right? And you know, shong. Okay. The irony of the situation is after Sin happened. I'll explain the specifics of the initial Sin incident later, but after the initial Sin summoning happened, and Bavel basically took over things, and thanks to certain compromises that were made with Yunalesca and the leadership of Bavel, Yevon was exalted to what's the word for that? It's a real life term. Sainthood. Yevon was exalted to sainthood, and so initially several things about the Yevon religion were done literally to mock them for that. And so the original reason that Bavel took up that thing and made it part of the Yevon religion was to mock them, because, you know, Xanarkand totally had their victory. You see where I'm going with that? And it's just, every time I see that, I just kind of cringe a little bit at the cultural irony of the situation. By the way, we're going to go ahead and make a Xanarkand counter for how many times he says that when he shouldn't. That's 2 so far. Speaking of which, for anybody who's curious, the Raise the Roof counter was 29 Raise the Roofs in FF9. Good lord. He does a good job of it. DiMaggio is a really good, DiMaggio, excuse me, is a really good voice actor. He did a good Joker, I
felt
think.
like I could trust this Wakka, so I just had to ask. It's true Xanarkand was destroyed, right? 1,000 years ago? So it's just a big pile of rubble now, isn't it?
Long time ago, there were a whole lot of cities in Spira. Big cities with machina, machines to run them. People played all day and let the machina do the work. And then, well, take a look. Sin came and destroyed the machina cities. And Xanarkand along with them. Yeah, that was about 1,000 years ago.
Yes,
Just like
Travinci.
you said. If you ask me, sin's our punishment for letting things get out of hand. What gets me though is we gotta suffer because of what some goofballs did way back when.
Note that
We
line.
must always repent for our sins. That's important. It's just that it's hard to keep at it sometimes, you know?
It was just as Riku said.
Hang on, I gotta pause so I can explain this. Note what Waka said that right at the beginning, even though he is a believer, quote-unquote, of the Yevon faith, right off the beginning he says, there's something that bothers me about it, and that's the fact that we have to pay for what they did. But then he immediately counters his own statement and says, but, you know, we must always stay true to the faith. Like he is upset at himself for actually doubting his own faith.
Waka and Riku couldn't both be lying. Why would they?
I also like how Waka is probably one of the most decently good people in FF10.
Hey, I'm not saying that team never existed, yeah? But you gotta figure, a team living in luxury like that be pretty soft, eh?
I appreciated the fact that Waka was trying to cheer me up. But at that time, all I could think about was everything that happened to me. All this started with sin.
God, emote a little
Maybe
bit.
if
It's
I
not that
find sin one
hard.
more time, I could go home. For now, I just live life until that time came. No more worrying about where or when I was. Sure, it was hard not to think of home, but I started to feel a little...
You can sort of skip it, by the way. You can skip the voice acting, like I just did. Just thought I'd show that little feature off. Besaid Oryx. God. One other thing worth talking about there, too, is the fact that in this whole game, I feel like there's really only two people that are genuinely good people. Don't mistake me. Auron's a great guy, really. But I wouldn't call Auron a good person. I'd call him a good character. I'd call him an awesome character. I'd call him a character I want to see 50 things more of. But I wouldn't call him a genuinely good guy like I would several of the others. Like, you know, Waka, for instance. In case anyone's curious, the other person I would call a genuinely good person would be Jekt. Yeah, I know. DiMaggio was actually trying for a Hawaiian accent, but he couldn't pull it off quite as well as he wanted to. I like this scene, by the way. See you around, Delvis.
What's the big idea?
No, right down. Yuna's debatable. And the only reason I say that is because I usually define a genuinely good person as someone who's willing to act on that. Yuna was more than willing to just go with the flow for a huge portion of her life, and in fact, if not for Tidus, she would have spent her whole life just going with the flow, just doing what everyone else told her to do. Then again, I guess you could say the same could be argued of the other two, so I'll go ahead and give you Yuna. But as weird as this sounds, I'm mostly going to give you Yuna because of 10-2, which is when we see Yuna when she's actually allowed to act however she wishes to, rather than however she has been trained to. Yeah, weird, isn't it, Cashel? I stand by it, though. Jekt is the true hero of FF10. Also, it's hard to blame him for making fun of, you know, Tidus. I mean, come on. Rogue Ranger, I'm streaming every day this week. And last week, and the week before that. I've been streaming for 2 weeks and 3 days now, solid. Well, yeah, that's why Auron is a badass. And pretty awesome regardless. I agreed with you, Hylisk. Why are you arguing with me? Come on, give me your love, Father. That being said, there's actually a really awesome scene between Tidus and Jecht. I'm not going to say anything about it because it's quite a ways in. Let's see, 10-2 if I'm playing it, 12, and then 13 if I'm playing it. So yeah. Of course, all of these games are long, so I'm probably going to be playing for a while still. I don't even know why I'm doing this. Ah, gotcha, Hylisk. The good thing is, in FF10 in general, the encounter rate is pretty low. But, yeah. I would have loved to see a 10 prequel where we actually go through the, what do they call it? Pilgrimage, where we go through the pilgrimage with Braska and Jecht and Auron. I think that would be really awesome. Yeah, by the way, is it just me? I really love the aesthetic of a lot of the melee attacks in this game. Tidus is a good example of that. Auron is a good example of that. Kimahri is a good example of that. But weird as this sounds, I usually make Wakka one of my main characters that I level up because I just love his attack. I don't know why. I can't even explain it. It's just pong and then they die. For some reason, that's always been pretty cool to me. That being said, it's also worth noting that my very first time playing FF10, I got a weapon, spear, ball, whatever you want to call it, of Wakka's that had Petrify as a status effect on it. And I swear to God, that Petrify had like a 90% chance to hit, because I would just destroy, one-shot everything with that instant Petrify attack. So Wakka kind of became one of my primary melee characters way back then.
Go. Got a favor to ask you. You want me on your team, right?
A major blitz tournament's coming up. All the teams in Spira will be there.
Man, I'm amazed how much chat I'm having for FF10.
So huge, I'm sure someone there will recognize you. Then you can go back to your old team, right? It'll be fun. What do you say, huh? Come on, come on.
Sure thing.
God, emote! Gah!
Our team is gonna rock, eh?
Really, Balthazar? That's kind of sad.
I thought then that Blitzball and Sin were the only two things that Spira and Xanarkand had in common.
Little did you know that they would all kneel before Zod. Gimmers, I usually turn Kimahri towards a flat. I put him in Auron's district. Let's just put it that way.
This is where I was born. I started Blitz when I was 5. I joined the Aurochs at 13, 10 years ago.
23, by the way.
10 years, and we never won a game.
Just keep that in mind. Wakka is 23 years old.
I quit. Time seemed right.
See you around, Panda.
So, after quitting, I got this new job, yeah? But every time my mind wandered, I thought about the game.
10 years without a single win will do that.
My first match last year was my big chance. But something else was on my mind. I couldn't focus.
Yeah.
Nice excuse.
Hey, hey!
So, you want to win the next tournament? Go out with a bang. So, what's our goal?
I don't care how we do. As long as we play our best.
No.
If we give it our all, I can walk away happy.
No. If I say, what's our goal? You say, victory! When you play in a Blitzball tournament, you play to win.
I'm probably going to lose the tournament, by the way.
You're serious?
Just feel like pointing that out. I've actually won that tournament several times. It's really funny when you win it because you go into sudden death. And, yeah. But I'm probably going to lose it. Just an FYI.
on guard. There are fiends on the road today.
Okay.
After surviving your run-in with Sin, it would be a shame if something happened now.
Yeah, shut up. So,
Who are they?
Luzu and Gata, Crusaders.
Huh? Crews of what?
What, you forgot that too? Hey, sorry. Don't worry about it. I'll help you out.
Cool. In return, come tournament time, I'll make sure we take the cup.
except we probably won't.
About the Crusaders, you can ask them yourself. They got a lodge in a village.
General Zod would say victory. God, this Bragwin, you really hit the nail on the head. I had no idea how appropriate it would be to name him Zod.
Be safe, village.
They got any food there?
We'll get you something over there later. Take a look around first. Let's see. The Crusaders' Lodge is over yonder. Luzu and
Hang on, I gotta comment on something. I like the fact that in FF10, for the first time ever in the Final Fantasy series, there's actually a reason why there's only a few villages and why they're so small. For the first time, that's not actually just a conceit that's being done because of the fact that they don't have the engine power to actually render the whole nations that they're supposed to be. Instead, this is literally as big as the villages get, and literally as many people are there because of, well, the horrible spiral of death that Spira is, that I'll talk about in more length later.
Are usually there.
Ow.
All right. Over here.
Huh? What's up?
Do remember the prayer, right?
What do you think, guys? Do I remember the prayer? Or do I not remember any prayers? Or are the prayers on my list? Titus is watching. God, that hurts. I will find him. God, that's the dumbest scene in that movie. I even kind of liked the new Superman. Not much, but a little bit. But God, that scene just cracks me up every time I see it. I can't take it I can't take it seriously. I will find him. I will find him. I will find him. Okay, no prayers. You got it, guys.
Of course I'd never prayed before in my life. Not that he would know that.
You must have forgot or something. Here, I'll show you.
There. It's something that they used as a mockery of the fact that the people who destroyed half the planet and have ensured the spiral of death to make sure that no one lives a proper life throughout the entirety of the next millennia. Yeah. And of course he does it perfectly because he knows it.
Not bad.
Hey, shut up, Walker. Come on.
Okay, now go present yourself to the temple summoner.
Why?
Any blitzball player would know that prayer. It was the blitzball sign for victory.
I know, it's terrible. I almost feel bad I'm going to stop streaming soon, but it's late, and I need to get some sleep. Of course, I'll be starting FF10 again tomorrow at 11 a.m. EST for anybody who is going to be there. In fact, I think this is actually a good time to go ahead and pause, as soon as I find a save point, assuming there is a save point. There's a save point, right? Save point? Save point? Okay, maybe we'll introduce ourselves to Yuna first. Yes, I have sledged. So that Song of Victory is another one of those things that was from the old Zanarkand. It's something that was always very important to Jack. It's one of the reasons why his strongest memories are of Zanarkand, and why the song itself has such an impact on him later on, and enables him to regain control of himself a bit.
I began to realize how different this world was from my own.
let's just get this out of the way right off the bat. This game is very big on an evil, and I do mean an evil and corrupt religion. I would argue that the religion of Yevon in FF10 is actually worse than the religion in Breath of Fire 2, if you understand the significance of that. It's all good, Balthazar. I understand. Hey, look, it's Braska.
Since Lord Braska became High Summoner. And finally, we receive a statue for our temple.
Oh, what's a High Summoner?
God, really? I love how everyone nearby is like, oh my god.
I got too close to Sin's toxin.
We're gonna use that as the toxin counter, by the way. Because that's like the 4th time you said that.
It was funny hearing myself make the same excuse over and over. Funny, and a little sad.
The summoners are practitioners of a sacred art, sworn to protect the people of Yevon. Only a chosen few become summoners, who call forth entities of great power, the Aeons. The
You're
Aeons
kidding,
hear our
Ajunix.
prayers and come down to us.
Hang on, Ajunix, have you not played Breath of Fire 2?
They are the blessing of Yevon.
I mean, goddamn, dude. Of course, we're talking about completely different types of evils.
Was that we should respect some kind of great men, or something like that, I figured.
God, Tidus, really? Alright, hang on. Let's go back to the Crusaders' tent. But yeah, the evil of the Church of Saint Eva in 2 was what I like to call Type 4 evil. Unrepentant, unforgivable, just bastard evil. In FF10, it's kind of worse, really. Because it's complacent evil and willful, just willful propagation of despair, you know? Of perpetuating the stagnation and the cycle of depression, oppression, and the inability to function. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and stop here. Like I said, I'm actually going to go ahead and punch in my cheats when I wake up tomorrow and get that over with, because I'm going to do that off camera because it's going to take a while. And then we're going to continue with this tomorrow. I hope to see at least some of you. Believe it or not, I'm actually enjoying myself playing 10 a lot more than I thought I would. This is a game that I really love talking about and I really love thinking about. I feel like it's a game that's hard to understand, hard to get into, because the full depth of it and the way it approaches it is not very easy, I guess is the word. No, let's not use the word easy. Let's use the word simple to get into. But you really, once you do, there's so much to this world, to this setting, to the depth of the way the theme works. So, anyways, I'll be talking to you guys tomorrow, hopefully.